everybody, Comic Reviewer here. This time reviewing on Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. Now, as you know, The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride is a 1998 direct-to-video sequel that is meant to take place pretty much sometime after the 1994 film, The Lion King. And there were talks about doing a sequel even before it hit theaters. Now, the premise of the film is meant to be about Kiara, who is the daughter of Nala and Simba, and pretty much after exploring the Outlands, she meets a young lion known as Kovu, who is meant to be the kind of successor to Scar. And Kovu's character is, still yet to question his royalties, and is pretty much meant to be shown as a counterpart to Scar, like what would have happened had Scar made the right choices, and is meant to be trained to become a weapon by Zira. Now, Zira, I would say, is kind of meant to be like the leader of the Outsiders, and is meant to be one of Scar's most loyal followers. And you can tell that she shows no concern or care for anyone but Kovu, and yeah, it's kind of shown, and I think what Suzanne does well at as voicing Zira, she kind of gives that menacing, evil mother feel. So, pretty much, you have Rafiki working with the spirit of Mufasa to help bring Kovu and Kiara together in hopes of stopping an all-out war. So I do agree with some YouTubers and reviewers that this is basically the Lion King version of Romeo and Juliet. As, yeah, a lot of people say the first film was basically Hamlet, which was obviously meant to be something similar to Kimba, based on the creator of Astro Boy's work. And I would say the movie does hit a good marks and so on, because you have Simba overprotective, which is understandable as he doesn't want to lose Kiara like the way he lost his father. And I think this is brilliantly handled as well in Batman and Robin. I know a lot of people say that's a bad movie, but it was also meant to show Bruce Wayne learning to accept that people in his life will leave and die eventually. And I still kind of think that Nala does kind of point it out about his younger days, but I still think you could have had Zazu and kind of them saying, look, you really need to stop being overprotective. And you can tell Kiara does point this out, only slightly. And when you've got the Outsiders, you basically got Nuka, who is pretty much voiced by Andy Dick, and I would say Nuka is just thrown in there to kind of try and prove himself to Zira. And I think the way they could have really worked on his character was have him try to plan an ambush and try to show his mum that he's worthy of becoming successor. I just feel they added him in there for comedy effect, but again, when you kind of got characters that are kind of like the third in command, like Starscream, when you've basically got, say, members of Skeletor's forces in He-Man, they do want to prove themselves that they're worthy to take over. And I think you could really have had Nuka staging an ambush and ended up getting killed. It would have been a better way to have done it. And when you've got Vitani, you can tell she does show some concern for Kovu, and I still think they could have really have had her questioning her, beliefs or answers, because when you've got Venice from Berserk, when she was working with the Holy Chain Knight, she did question where her loyalties arrived, and this really could have been a fantastic idea. And I think the movie does really, like I said, still hit the marks, because when you've got Simba's nightmare about Scar, when it turns into Kovu, it's kind of like the dream saying, be careful not to throw Kovu away, as he might become something like Scar. And I still feel some of the voice cast is actually rememberable, because I still think Neve Campbell does do a good job as Kiara, and I still think Jason Marsden does a great job for Kovu, and bringing back some of the original voice actors like Matthew Broderick, as well as Moira Kelly, do a fantastic job bringing their voice talent back for Simba and Nala. And I still think Moira Kelly doing a great voice for Nala kind of gives you that much older kind of mother feel. And also, when you've got the soundtracks like He Lives in You, it's like the song saying, a person from our past is still with us. And when you've got the song We Are One, that is sung by Cam Clark, known for playing Leonardo in the 1987 TMNT cartoon and Prince Adam in the 2002 He-Man cartoon, he does a fantastic job at saying we're all connected together. And when you've got the serious songs like My Lullaby, it's like a version of Be Prepared. And when you've got the song One of Us, it kind of throws Kovu in a place where he's exiled. And I do admit the point of the movie copying the first film's element was meant to kind of reference the same thing, like the past is copying itself and history repeats itself. So I do think somewhere Lion King 2 let out a mighty roar, and I definitely think this sequel is definitely an underdog. So I think it deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.